Welcome to Productivity for Solopreneurs, where each week I share about insights getting things done. So, welcome to the live. So, today is actually live number 99, and we are going to be talking about what to do instead of inbox zero. So, last week we talked about inbox zero and why you shouldn't bother with it. So, if you're interested in that, head on back to last week's video to check that out and listen to that. But this week we are talking about what to do instead of inbox zero. So if you're not bothering with inbox zero, how are you managing your emails? So say hello in the comments. Let me know you're here, whether you're watching live or you're watching the recording. And let me know how you manage your inbox, and how it works for you. So whether you manage your inbox and you keep it pretty clear and it's going great, let me know how you do that. Like, what strategies do you have? Or if it's not going so great for you, let me know that too. I'd be interested to know. So I'm just going to update this page. In fact, live, and I am, so that's fabulous. So if you don't know me, my name is Evie Burke, and I am the founder and productivity coach and business strategist at One Insight Closer, which is where you are watching this video. And I help women solopreneurs who want to take their productivity to a new level. They are overwhelmed, they're exhausted, and they're overwhelmed and exhausted by everything that they want to accomplish in their business. And they really aren't interested or able to work 9 to 12-hour days to get everything done. It's not for them. So I help them create solutions for getting all of those important things done in their business so they can grow their business with confidence and without that stress and frustration. And then when they're not working, they can be completely present with the people that they love. So again, last week we talked about why you shouldn't bother with inbox zero, and this week we are talking about what to do instead. So the short answer here is find what works for you and keep doing it. And if it was that easy, then no one would have an overwhelming inbox. We wouldn't have an inbox zero strategy because no one would have a problem with keeping their inbox cleared out or easy to manage. But we know that's not the case. We know that I know that figuring out the things that work for you aren't a one and done thing. It takes some time to figure out what really does work for somebody, what works for you, and what maybe doesn't work for you. And sometimes you have to go through a lot of what doesn't work for you to figure out what does. So let's talk about how to figure that out, or some things to keep in mind, rather. Really, other things to keep in mind as figuring out what works for you. So one of the things to remember or to think about or just consider is email clients have gotten a whole lot better at helping you sort and manage your email. So an email client is just the program or the page or the site that you go to check your email. So whether you're going to Yahoo Mail or Gmail or Outlook or I think my husband uses something called like Rocket Mail or something. I don't know. There's a bunch of things out there, right? So whatever you're using, a lot of them have things set up so that they automatically sort, right? So I know figuring out how to get, as a business owner, figuring out how to get your emails, like your newsletters or your promo emails, to go into Gmail's primary tab is like a hot topic. Many people, post about it and, have ideas about what to do. But for me, those tabs, having that primary tab and those other tabs, that helps keep me sane. So I don't want somebody to figure out how to get their emails into my primary tab. I know that there is at least one person who I have almost missed personal correspondence from this person because I am sending their email to they figured out a way to game the system, so to speak. And I throw everything purposefully into one of those other folders, and I've almost missed their email. Where if they would have allowed the newsletter and the mass correspondence to be automatically filtered into those other inboxes, then this person's primary um, email, like the email that was just written to me, would have gone into my primary inbox, and I would have seen it. And it took me a day, I think, to see it, and I almost missed it because I was just going through and deleting emails that I wasn't going to read. So anyway, that's something to keep in mind. But Gmail has those tabs. Outlook has a focused and an other inbox. So, and it's pretty good about noticing which emails you regularly open and popping them into the focused versus the ones that you're just deleting or not really looking at and popping them in the other. So use these tools to your advantage. Let your email client do some of that work of sorting through your email for you. And they really are interested in keeping you happy. So they really genuinely are interested in making sure that those emails from your mom that you want to read go into the place that you're going to most likely see them versus the fifth email you've received this week from that clothing store that you bought something from last month that you're just deleting all their emails because you're not interested in that sale. You already bought things, a month ago. So have your email automatically sort those personal correspondence or communications from those newsletters, from those sales emails, so that checking your email and making sure that you're not missing something works so much easier. So it's really the difference between, that email check that is actually quick and efficient versus an email check where you're scanning through just a bunch of stuff and you're feeling like you've missed something important. Probably because, maybe you did. So I know I have Gmail inbox. I love the tabs. I already talked about that. And I also don't use them necessarily the way that they're intended. So you can do that too. You can decide how you want to use those tabs that Gmail set up. I kind of used as a guideline what they suggested and then kind of moved on from there. So for me, primary, so Gmail has 5 tabs. Primary, social, updates, promotion, and forums. So primary is my primary inbox. It's where emails from my clients go. It's where personal communication goes, right? Everything for that stays there. Then there's social, and I use that for kind of what you would assume. So this is where those social media type emails, those digest emails get sent. So things like Meetup, Nextdoor, Instagram, Facebook, Quora, Goodreads. I don't have all of those, but those were just some of the things that if I did have them, that's where they would go. And then I have the updates tab. Well, Gmail has the updates tab. And those are the newsletters that I want to read, but I'm probably not going to make that like a super high priority. For me, the updates tab is the one that is most likely to get out of control the fastest because most all newsletters that I subscribe to go into the updates tab, and they're the last thing that I check. So if I run out of time for my email check, and I don't get to updates, then it just stays there. So sometimes I can really quickly get to 50 emails in that folder, and I just don't worry about it because I'll get to it probably the next day and start sorting through it. And then the fourth tab I have is promotions, and that one is everything else. So that's where I send the newsletters that I want to read, whether it's somebody that I'm following where I'm really interested in their content and want to read it pretty quickly after they send it out, or the notes from the universe can get sent to promotions tab because I like to read those every day. So those things that I do want to read on a daily basis get sent to promotions. And then there's the forums tab, and I don't really use that tab. I think some things end up there every once in a while, but I don't really use it. So normally the order that I go through checking is primary, social, but primary first, social second. And I just check social because that one usually goes pretty quick. And I'm just deleting things because a lot of times they're just notifications. And then so it's primary, then social, then promotions, and then updates. And another thing to think about, after you are using those tabs or that automatic sorting to your advantage, another thing to think about is giving yourself time limits and certain times of day that work. So some people like to check their email quick first thing in the morning, just to check that primary tab. If that works for you, do that. If that's something that then kind of hoses up the rest of the day, then don't do that. So I know somebody somewhere had recommended to me, like you should spend like your first 20 minutes like in social media and checking your email just to be present and available. And that just messed up the rest of my day because first thing in the morning, I couldn't just do a quick email check. I would get fully sucked in. Where if I would wait until like right before lunch or right after lunch, then that worked for me. So figure out what those times are for you and, just be okay with it. I do sometimes, after I've done my first task for the day, go into my email just to make sure that there's nothing important that I need to respond to right away. And sometimes in breakfast, when I'm having breakfast, I'll go into just my main tab on my phone. And my main tab of my email I'll look at on my phone just to see if there's anything I need to respond to. And sometimes it's just super easy just to delete emails on my phone. So sometimes I do that. But, figure out what works for you. And then the bonus tip that I have. So if you are like me, sometimes you like to get those emails from stores that have sales going on, but you don't want to unsubscribe from all of them, but you're probably not buying, every single week from them either. So how do you manage them, especially those stores that are sending you, hey, this is on sale this week, like 2, 3, 4 times a week. So one of the things that I did in my Gmail is I created a rule. And I just started anytime that I would get an email from, one of those places that was offering a sale or a store, and I would take the email address and I created a rule where any email from that email address would get sent into a shopping folder. And then it just made it so much easier to go through that promotions tab and not feel like I was like skimming newsletters. Oh, sale email, delete. Oh, nope, that's a newsletter, right? It was a different vibe. So when I was able to just create that folder for the shopping, then I just go into the shopping, I tell it to select everything, and then I just go through quick and see is there, and if it is, then I'll click it, and then and then I can just quickly go through and look at the emails that I want to look at to see, is there anything interesting. So Amazon emails get sent there, clothing store emails get sent there. I'm trying to think, like some of those like online stores where they're just online, those go there. That's what goes there. If you need some help creating rules, pop it in the comments and let me know what your email client is, and I can probably find you some instructions on how to create those sorting rules. So let's see. So that's the bonus tip. I'm looking at my notes here. That's it for today. So, and when you're trying things out, if something doesn't work, that doesn't mean that you won't ever find a solution that works. And this really goes for everything. It just means that that particular solution doesn't work for you right now. All right. So don't stop trying to figure out or trying to find the thing that works for you. Keep plugging at it. It's the Einstein thing, right? He had like what 1,000 or 999 tries or whatever it was to create a light bulb before he found the way to create a light bulb that actually worked. The Einstein No, that wasn't Einstein. That was Edison. Edison. And, once he found it though, then he had it. And that's the way it goes. And if he wouldn't have gone through all of those failures, he would have never gotten to the success. So same way with email, same way with different things in your business, whether it's managing your time, marketing plans, or to-do lists, whatever it is. So anyway, I have two things I want to share with you. One is the Unnamed Productivity Club is open for new members again. I will pop a link for that in the comments. So if you're working from home and you're feeling lonely and you never seem to make the time to set priorities in your business for the quarter or for the week, the Unnamed Productivity Club is a great place for you to be because we are a community, we hold you accountable, and I walk you through how to create those goals every single month, and you have access to me to ask questions. So it's a great place to be. I'd love to welcome you there. And then the second thing is next week is my 100th live video. So to celebrate, I am doing a Q&A. So ask me your questions and I will answer them in the Q&A. So pop the questions either here or private message me them if you want to be anonymous, or, well, anonymous to everyone here. Or shoot me an email if you have my email, and I will answer those tomorrow. And they can be on any topic, whether you have a productivity question, whether you have a business question you want me to answer, or whether you're just curious about me and have a question about me. I'm happy to answer those questions too. So let me know and I will answer them next week. And until then, much love. Bye. I'm gonna stop.